Today we're checking out my HD glasses. So to start off, our wonderful HD glasses come in this fancy-dancy little cardboard, essentially black case. And inside, a little magnetic door. It's kind of nifty, I guess. But inside, some interesting instructions for the X series, because they're extremely nerdy looking glasses. But I always like this. Kindly read through this manual before operating. Okay, so it comes with some instructions, a USB cable to connect it up, the glasses themselves, which we'll get more into here in a minute, and something to clean your lenses with, even though they're plastic and are already scratched. So that aside, we have our glasses. From a point of view, I mean, these are supposed to be spy glasses, and not for 1 minute would anybody I've seen wearing this, I would buy that something isn't up. Because, I mean, look at me, I'm a gorgeous man, but check it out. Yes, nothing is up at all. Nothing is happening at all. Every time I've worn these and run into somebody that I've met for even the briefest period of time, they immediately notice that something is going. Not only, even if I take off the other pair of glasses so I can't see, nobody's buying it. So, from a point of view of these being spy glasses, they're not really spy glasses. You're not fooling anybody. So, and if that was the only problem with them, that'd be fine, I guess. Because really, I don't care about being a spy. I just wanted some camera, or wanted a camera I could, use without having to use both of my hands. And even in there, they kind of fail. You can see in the image quality, if we do put these back on here, you can see from the image quality, they're not really fantastic. And even, I don't know if it'll happen, but they cause glaring from lights just in the area. So the image quality isn't fantastic, and just the presence of lights seems to screw up the image. Okay, well, that's not really great. I think it's because the lens itself actually has a little plastic cover over the top of it to kind of conceal it even further. And I think it's doing nothing more than just glaring off of that, or the plastic is somehow being just a piece of junk. Normally you have some kind of a glass in front of it. Even the cheapest of cell phones cameras has that kind of as a feature. So, unfortunately, even as a camera, they're not really great. And then we get to the third problem. The sound doesn't work. Well, it kind of does. If you yell at it, it might work. There's a clip of Chris going, and somehow I got like the smallest amount of him talking. So, from that perspective, it just doesn't even really work well as a product. So, but for $60, I mean, when camera glasses are seeing, that you're seeing good ones for $300 and these are $60, well, sometimes you just get what you pay for. But I figured, why don't we take a look at them? And we've got our wonderful scope and whatnot, so we can actually look inside here and see what makes this little guy tick, and maybe even repair it. I don't know. So I'm gonna set up my camera so we can do that, and let's open this guy up. So okay, so we got our camera glasses, and really the guts, that I can I guess tell, we're probably in this side here. I mean, we've got two similar shaped things, but I think the processing happens in this end, over here, and then maybe, possibly, we've got a battery or something in here. I don't know, it feels very light. Not that lithium ion is made out of bowling balls or anything, but it just feels too light. And then we have the image sensor right in the bridge of the glasses. Not really certain how to access that yet, but I mean, it looks like there's a part line right here and a part line right above it, so maybe I can disassemble, the hoop and get into that. But I'm going to start, excuse me, I'm going to start over here and try and get in here. Now, which is also just magnified in difficulty, because during the assembly process, where is it? Whoever assembled these wonderful glasses, they turned the screws into a round. So they've stripped them quite heavily. You can see that on the other side, if I find one of the screws, that isn't the case. Whoop, started moving around again. Where is it? And they're actually, I mean, they're just small Phillips screws. So whoever assembled this wonderful device kind of made my life a little more complicated. So anyways, we'll just start. We'll get our handy dandy screwdriver out and see if we can get in here and open this up. Oh. You know, sometimes you can overcome strip screws by just laying on the force, and it looks like I got it. Who knows if I'll be able to get it back in there, but got it out at least. It'd be a good time maybe to replace that screw, but it's just a tiny little, I don't even know if I can see it on the scope. Where is it? Where are you? Right there? No? There we go. Just a tiny little screw. You know, so not unlike, you know, any other glasses screws or whatever. So anyways, let's get this other one out here. Which is kind of what it feels like. I mean, which kind of makes sense. We're dealing with glasses here. So there's our two screws out. Let's see. Now I would imagine that this side just comes off. Yeah. Oh, actually, let's come at it with an X-Acto blade. This one's got a broken tip. Annoying. Come on. I'm wondering if this piece itself might be actually part of the hinge assembly. Whoop. Gotta watch our screws. Don't really have anything to put them in. But I'm gonna move them to the upper corner over here. Okay. So, and if that's true, let's take take the hinge screw out. I think it's just a straight Phillips as well. Yeah, that's been stripped all to hell. Alright. Keep in mind, they intended, and it says in the instructions, for you to disassemble it like this to change out the lenses, because there's sunglasses as an optional piece of equipment. So their intention was for you to do this anyways, and then they stripped the screws. So bad product design maybe. Oop, this is coming apart. So so there's one lens, which it's fantastically glareable. And in theory, this part just came off on the other, you know, the top of the bridge piece just came right off, so hopefully I can wiggle it or get it to pop out here. Nope. Okay, well, let's take out there's another screw right on top, so why don't I get him out of the way too. Step 1, remove all screws. I don't know if that's really the step 1, but it's definitely a step. I got two different sizes of screws. Got a longer one. Where are we at? Got a long one. And short ones so far. The long ones it came from the bottom of the bow, so right here, and then the short ones came from the tops and the little sides and everything. So just to kind of keep those straight. Pardon me. I think I'm getting cold. All right. So in theory, the bow should come off. It'd be a good time to see. Yeah, I think we can see. Right down in there. is how we make our connections, and looks like a very, very tiny, tiny collection of wires. Really tiny. And there's looks like there might be a shield or a ground line in there too. So okay, so so we do have wires. There's no like little slip ringy area. It's all just kind of put together that way. So we can't just pull it apart. But manipulating it all around has seemed to kind of open up this door a little bit more. So let's kind of get in here with our X-Acto blade, a la crowbar style here. Doesn't really want to open. Let's open up here. Up here is the top of this thing is where all the data ports are, and we just want to kind of look in there for maybe latches or screws or something that might explain why this thing hasn't just fallen apart. We can already kind of feel that this thing is kind of working its way out. Oop. That's okay. I just want this guy to open up. Get fingernail in there. Yep. Gotta be careful. There is a battery somewhere in here, so gotta be. Whoop, and pop she goes. Alright, so we've got the little door piece. Our next items here. Oops, where do we go? We got our little door piece, which I think everybody who's ever seen any kind of piece has seen. This is just essentially a little plastic door that's flexible. And our overall door with its little hinge part. We're going to put him over there. Okay, and now we got the kind of guts of the thing. Now we might be able to just lay this guy out maybe, because now it's all exposed. Nope. Okay. Because it's still, I mean, it's still kind of a thing. Okay, that's not coming apart. But we can see, we can see inside. So let's take a little look at everything. Well, let's start with the things that we can immediately identify. We've got our USB port. That's really nifty. There's some kind of switch right here that isn't described in the instructions at all, but there's a switch. I think it's a switch. Looks like a switch. Talks like a switch. Walks like a switch. Must be a switch. So we got that. Whole array of wonderful resistors and whatnot. Right there is something. That looks like a microphone. You can see it from the side here. Yeah, I would say that guy is actually the microphone. So either he's damaged in some way, or just a piece of crap, or possibly the op amp, which I don't see. You know, typically you'll have a microphone, an op amp, and then into the microprocessor. And maybe the op amp is either missing or non-functional, or 10 other things that could have gone wrong with the construction of this thing. A lot of filtering, power. Looks like maybe power regulator right here. Possibly. That might be an op amp. I don't know. But I can see right here plus and minus and some leads that are running towards. Hey, look there. We got a little flash chip, a little flash chip housing going on. So maybe if I wanted to put more storage in, I could get that guy out and replace him with something bigger. That's kind of interesting. I think not really certain what this is, other than it might just be a wiring harness to connect this to the camera. So from what I can see right now, it is just essentially just one little board. Doesn't look like there's any real mechanical holding, like a screw or something. Maybe there's something that looks kind of stripped right there. Let's take a look under the scope. Right there, something. Can't really tell if it's a screw or it's just some kind of component, but it doesn't seem to have any traces around it. So I think he's a screw. He might be holding it in place. Yep, there's another screw too. So there's a couple screws that hold that board in place. which is good. You know, at the cost point of $60, I was afraid that I would just open this thing up and there would just be tons and tons of glue everywhere, and that would lead to a bad day. Okay, so I haven't seen the battery yet, and just based on what I've seen, it looks like the leads running away might reinforce the fact that the battery is down on this side here, so that's kind of interesting. So let's see if we can get this guy open. Get this area here. I don't see any screws down. See right here. I don't know if it'll show up on the scope. There we go. I don't know how well, but it's already coming apart. Whoop! And you can see right there, and there's the lens falling right out. So let's just put the lens over there. Some nice high quality crappy plastic lenses. So so that's already come apart, and it just looks like it might be latched in. And if I can get this guy to unlatch somehow, some way, by some kind of form of pressure. Whoop, gotta watch it. Got electronics exposed. Probably should have did this before I opened the electronics compartment, but que sera, sera. Again, you're supposed to be able to do this. This is one of the features of this product is being able to change lenses. If this is what you have to do to change the lenses, then, well, I just broke it. So, yeah, I just did that. I just broke the bow piece, the little connection inside. That's unfortunate, but I kind of almost figured I was going to do that anyways. So, unfortunate, but not unexpected, unfortunately. So, alright, so let's keep on. Can we gain access? Now with a fresh battery and a camera. Let's see, we'll get back to work. We have some wires inside of here. Can't see if there's anything in that locking mechanism there. Doesn't look like it. Something there. Some kind of something right there. I don't know what it is. Might just be a plastic artifact. Just looks shiny. So it's not. I don't think that's metal. So okay. So we've got that kind of disassembled for all that it's worth. Can't still see a way to get to the camera without busting things up. I'm gonna come over here while I'm kind of on this page. Remove the screw from the top there, or from this guy, and just kind of, he should just move right off. So now I've got my flat piece. I almost am feeling if I disconnect my wires, I'm kind of afraid of that idea, honestly, but if I disconnect whatever that yellow thing is and my flying leads of power, which is a definite band name of the day, that would allow me some better, to better disassemble this. But at the same time, I kind of want to leave it intact as much as possible, because really what I'd like to do is turn the power on with the system disassembled and see how well it performs. That's barring I can get the camera out and the battery out and whatnot, but that's neither here nor there right now. But so I'm curious if I take the battery leads off of there, and I don't even know if I can disconnect that. I mean, it looks like it pushes together. Can't really see it very well. If it's a connector, let's take a look under the scope. I mean, I see, yeah, look at that. It is a connector of some kind. There's a little black piece, but at the same time, that's going to be such a gentle kind of thing. Let's try and slip in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He comes right off. I don't know if he'll go back on, but he comes right off. So, let's get our iron. I'm right-handed. Let's bring the iron over to the right side here. Maybe if I just come in here. And I just don't want the power leads to fly off or fly into something else and short something out. So let's come in and grab. Come on. There's the one line. Wasn't really well soldered to begin with. Now I don't want those to touch. May have killed my battery right there in one fell swoop. Hopefully not. So let's give this guy a nice little kink. So he's out of the... So now we've got our power leads separated over here, and it's disconnected. No more power for you. And let's come in and let's see if we can... Let's see if I can get this in a frame over here somewhere. But let's just disconnect our yellow guy who felt like he was about to come apart earlier. Yeah, there we go. So now my wonderful bow should come right off. Hey, look at that. Look at that. So now we can actually really kind of, in a nice way, hopefully kind of look at this. It's a pretty nifty connector, actually. Yeah, pretty high density. Nothing really amazing underneath it though. Might be a decoupler cap right there, right next to our screw. But yeah, this would be a prime time to run to, if this ends up fixing it or something, this might be a prime time to run off and replace that. But however, there might also be operational or functional code on that guy, so it might not be a good idea to replace him. But okay, so we got him off, so it makes this a little easier to handle. And so again, still thinking the battery is hiding in this guy here. Let's take a look. Well, like before, can I see some wires? Yeah, right in there, and that confirms it for me. That right inside of here, you can see the black and red wires right in there, and so that confirms it for me. The battery is actually hiding out over here. So, just like with the other bow, I wonder if I disconnect or if I open, whoop, let's leave that one in place for right now. Let's open up this side, which the screws are in damn near pristine condition on this side, so maybe they're assembled by two different people and one person cares and one person doesn't. Who knows? Let's get this screw here. Top screw is a small screw over there, and this screw doesn't want to come out, but I don't know that I give a crap because we're going to pry him open right now. Again, gotta be careful. I know I've got a battery in here somewhere, so I don't want to short the battery out and damage it, even though it's just a tiny battery. I'm pretty sure I could, replace it. Kind of expecting, sorry, kind of expecting to see almost a watch battery in this thing. Come on. Come on, open up. It's like I know you want to come apart. Let's go for something a little bit bigger blade. Or a screwdriver in this case. Get in there. Get in there. Ouch. Why don't you want to come apart? There's no other screws that I can see. And I got two little wires. I mean, I thought I got all the screws all de-threaded. That's all the way out. Yeah, it's nothing. It's not on anything right now. Come on, get in there. There we go. Looks like there might be just a hint of glue. Yep, look at that. Look at that battery right there. Part of me just thought about pulling the whole thing apart, but that would end in tears, I imagine. So I think I've just made my life more complicated. So it's taped in. It's there's our battery pack. I'd like to say that this is a surprise, but there is absolutely zero markings visible on the battery whatsoever. So it's a complete, guess of what we're looking at here for a in other words, if I ever wanted to replace the battery with something else, well, you're in tough toenails because you don't know what it is. So you'd have to just kind of go by what it does instead of what it is. And who knows, they may have made their own battery because, once you do that. Now let's see, can we disconnect this guy somehow? Let's take a look what we're dealing with for termination here. Is that epoxy? No, that's just tape. So the leads come into the body. Come on, focus. They come into the body. They get looped around a bit. They come into the bow body. They get looped, taped, and then attached. So, or to their attachment points. So, whoop-de-ding about that. So that's cool. I wish I could somehow easily disconnect that, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's get in to our main camera area now. Let's just first start off, if we can here. I'm going to probably be sorry if that touches, but let's see if we can look right down the camera. It doesn't look like actually that there's a plastic piece in front of it. Just looks, and again, looks like there's a plastic piece, and then behind it is the lens. So that might be what's causing it to hew over, or to have the weird looking effect to it. But I don't think so. So anywho, that's kind of interesting. I'm half tempted. What I'd like now to do is just reconnect my main body power supply, and then the digital lines, and then I wonder if it looks like a push button, and maybe shoot some video with it and see if the video has any decent qualities to it. Does it, because the microphone's no longer encased inside of here, is it now actually somewhat functional? Stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reattach this guy. So, and these are really tiny leads. Really tiny. But now that I don't, now that it's a cobbled mess in my hands, I should be able to just tap it in place here. Maybe. Let's see if I can get down in there. Oof. Whoa. Bet the person who put this together just easily went doot, done. Because they do this all day, every day. And my name is Bill, and I do this once in a while. Let's get it kind of warmed up. Come on. Don't do that. Don't be like that. Solder is really not quality solder. Okay. It's really kind of a shitty solder, but it's probably tin solder because without any kind of flux to it. Okay, pad is cleaned. I think I'm good and separated there. Let's take a look, make sure the pad's clean. That they're not connected. That's a close, really, really close. I mean, you're talking one side's, you know, positive, the other side's ground, and they're right next to each other. I mean, that's, you know, really, really, really delicate. Okay. Not to mention there's power on this thing, so maybe when they do this, they don't have power attached to it. Let's see if I can get in there and get this guy tagged. Did I get it? Looks like I did. Looks like she's in place. Okay, so that's good. And we'll flop down the data connection. Probably should have did this one first, then the other one, but okay. So now it's all replugged in, and in theory, if I push this button here, there it goes red. In theory, it's now recording. In theory, I guess. Alright. Or no, now it's recording. I think it has to bleep. Well, let's... Alright, and I'm talking kind of in a normal voice, and I don't know if the microphone is picking this up, and if so, we're going to find out. Alright, I'm going to stop recording. Okay. So, now with it kind of taken apart, I'm going to hook that up to my computer, hook the camera up to my computer, and let's see what this footage looks like. So, that's the second footage. The footage doesn't look any better, and it really doesn't sound any better. So, I'm just wondering if really if we actually take a look at it. Oops, I forgot to start my scope. If we really take a look at it, and I think I'm going to have to, you know, pull it out, but I'm really going to have to look at this little microphone, which, again, I haven't really confirmed yet that, haven't really confirmed yet that that bugger is the microphone, but it looks like a microphone, and it makes me think it's a microphone. So, so I want to kind of trace him. So back to, let's get this guy disassembled again, because I'm willing to leave the glasses kind of intact and the camera where it's at and all of those things. If I can get the sound to work, my life will be, I don't know if it'll be better, but it'll definitely be funner. Alright, let's get this in focus. Just like before. Let's come in here. Get one. With one of them disconnected, let's kind of give it a good kink so that it's completely not facing the same terminal. Ow. Whack the scope, that's always good to do. And the second one. There we go. So now we're just left with our bow, which is really good. Okay. I do like really the fact that there's a connector. I think really personally that them having this connector here is really kind of a show that, you know, that okay, fine, that we're going to manufacture this thing for cheap, but we're going to still have a connector so you can plug in and unplug it. And that's probably more manufacturing, like, hey, we want to be able to, you know, have one line assemble this part and then the other lines doing whatever. But at the same time, it makes it nice for people like me who come along later and are trying to repair this thing. Okay, so there's a couple of screws. One, as we kind of discovered, there's one there, and then on the other side of the board down by that connector I love so much is another screw. So I'm going to take those two screws out, and that should, in theory, release this entire board so that I can, you know, see what's on the other side, and then we can start kind of back tracing the microphone. Maybe start, if we're lucky, maybe, just maybe, we'll find where that microphone ends and be able to kind of get a better understanding of what makes that microphone a microphone. Oh, these are kind of stripped. This one didn't go in straight, I guess. Okay. Come on, mister. Come on, mister. Screw you on out of there too. I can sense it. There we go. Those screws, I don't know if they're smaller, but they, you know, than the other ones. Nope, same one. Same type. Same type of screw as the smaller screws for the rest of it, which makes sense. If I was going to make this thing, I wouldn't want to have like a special new type of hardware. Okay. It's always good when black stuff falls out when you tap it on it. Okay. It started to come out. Oh, there we go. So now, whoa. The button itself. See if we can get a good shot of that. There's the back of the button that turns it on and off. Oops. It's all shiny. There's the on-off button. Put him over there. So now we're left with just our board, and here's the side we've already seen. Move the bow out of the way. Where, you know, you have all your and the other side. Look at all that. There's our push button for on-off operations. Gonna guess that's a crystal right there. I'm going out on a limb here that is actually our processor. That's the part number on this guy. Oh, got it upside down. So there's our part number for what I'm guessing, in a sense, is probably our main processor. Just a guess. I'm going to have to look up that number myself and see what it actually does. Then we've got a chip right next to it that looks like it kind of has a number on it. It's kind of hard to read. And it's not uncommon in my experience with parts coming out of Hong Kong that they'll just kind of obscure what's actually there, because they believe at some level, there's a good shot of it, somehow that will stop you from stealing their design or something. I think personally it just makes it an annoying thing. So there's a shot of the chips that sits right next to it. Okay, I'm gonna move down just a bit. There's another chip. Not sure what he is yet. Let's get a proper orientated shot of it here. Can't read him very well. Very. It's obvious that someone's wiped the chips, tried to get rid of all the, you know, the quote-unquote evidence. What are you? But like they did with the assembly, they kind of half-assed it. So looks like possibly either some op amps or something here. I mean, this might. I can't imagine those are all op amps. Can't imagine why you would need 3 op amps in a row. So they're probably power regulators or something like that. So that's the end. Let's just do a flyby here. So from one side to the next, which that looks really fantastic. Look at that. What the hell are you? Just a glob of solder. I have no idea why you would do that. Something got forgot or something, so no time to roll another board, just glub some solder on it and call it done.